Honourable David Parker.
Mr Speaker, the Labor Party position on mining has never been unclear and it has always been consistent. Outside of Schedule 4 areas like national parks, we have always said it ought to be done on a case-by-case basis. We approve of mining, but people have to get a consent under the RMA or the Crown Minerals Act. The law hasn't been changed by National in that regard in any great way, and our position hasn't changed since we were last in government, when we spent $25 million of taxpayers' money helping get data to make it a little bit less risky for the oil and gas industry. So whilst we don't think that's the whole answer to New Zealand's economic problems, we admit it's part of it, and we don't oppose it outside of Schedule 4 areas. So the National Party people should do a bit of research. Why is it that they're rattling on about that? Well, because they don't want to talk about the economy, they don't want to talk about jobs. In fact, they don't, because all they do is focus on one political disaster after another. Let's list them this year. Well, we've got the .com one recently. That's been addressed by Grant Robertson. I won't go into that any further. Go back a little while and we had the government's centrepiece of their budget being improving student outcomes by increasing class sizes. What a nonsense that was, and they had to back down, and they spent 2 months defending that ridiculous policy when they should have been doing things to save people's jobs. Go back a little bit further, like just a month before that, and we had Nick Smith falling on his sword because of the debacle at ACC that not only saw the minister resign, but we had the board resign as well. The chair get effectively asked to resign and the board followed him because that was so mismanaged. Another month when the government wasn't managing the economy. Go back a little bit further and you have the problems with the T-tapes and the Prime Minister's scandals around that. We've got the Prime Minister's scandals around his electorate chairperson being appointed to New Zealand On Air and called the Broadcasting Commission. What's that? They're what you are embroiled in every day, and then in the last month, they are what the government is embroiled in every day, and in the last month we've had John Banks. What should they be doing? They should be doing what they can do to help this shedding of jobs. 160,000 people gone to Australia since they were elected. That's more than the population of the city I come from. Dunedin's about 100,000 people. 160,000 people have gone to Australia alone. That's not the rest of the world, that's just Australia. Record numbers every month because there are no job prospects. Despite the fact that a lot of the unemployed have given up and gone to Australia, we've still got far higher unemployment now than when this government came to office. The safety valve, as Bill English describes the Australian economy, has kept New Zealand's unemployment lower than it would otherwise be because they've gone to get jobs in Australia. What could the government do? They could save some of these export jobs by doing what a responsible government would do. Back Winston's bill to Select Committee, change the Reserve Bank Act so that we don't give primacy to the targeting of inflation ahead of other aspects of economic management. The IMF says we should do that. Nobel laureates like Joseph Stiglitz say we should do that. Most of the governments around the world have moved on from giving inflation targeting primacy. Joseph Stalin, there we go, Joseph Stalin. That's just like Stephen Joyce. Anyone comes out with alternative economic policy, it's economic voodoo, it's snake oil remedy, or from Mr Finlay he says it's Joseph Stalin when you talk about Nobel laureate. Free marketeer to a certain extent, Stiglitz. He's Joseph Stalin, according to the National Party. These guys are so out of touch that they have more people go to Australia than live in Dunedin, and they say, oh, we don't need to change anything. They don't need to change anything. Mr Speaker, this government is embroiled in its own controversies. It's not properly managing the economy. We're losing export jobs that will be very, very hard to get back. And as a consequence, New Zealanders are disappointed. They've given up on waiting for the brighter future from the national government. And, Mr Speaker, they're voting with their feet and going to Australia instead.
The Honourable Kate Wilkinson.
Thank you.